Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
It is some of the worst luck and timing you could imagine. A local woman has been without her car for nearly a year because of the pandemic.
Michigan National Guard troops were supposed to be in D.C. until mid-March, but new reporting says they could be there through November. Coming up, what members of Congress are asking from the Speaker of the House about how long our troops could be there.
From road county commissions to the little guy, everyone is busy with the amount of snow we're getting in Metro Detroit this week.
Local 4 News starts now with a severe weather alert.
Indeed, that's where we start things off here at 6. Around 150 million Americans, 150 million are right now under winter weather advisories, and ours is starting right about now.
Storm Tracker 4 showing a massive snowmaker creeping north. We're already getting some school closings for tomorrow, too, by the way. You can find those on clickondetroit.com.
All right, let's start things off here at 6 in the Weather Center with Ben.
Yeah, Devin and Kim, we are going to be talking about the President's Day storm of 2021 for years to come after this, not only for us, but for a good chunk of the country. And here's why. You can see that storm is lifting out of the Ohio Valley. The leading edge of that snowfall is just on top of us right now. In fact, it's starting to creep north of 8 Mile. A lot of places south of there reporting some at least moderate snow, and it is already starting to accumulate down into the south zone. We're going to continue to see this through the evening hours tonight. So the bottom line is this evening through daybreak Tuesday, it's going to be pretty much solid snow. We don't really see a whole lot of variation in that. As far as the impacts go, obviously that morning drive is going to be a mess. Even if crews have time to plow tonight, it's not going to really end until close to daybreak tomorrow. And then 5 to 8 inches is what we're expecting for total accumulation with this storm. And we may be on the conservative side of those totals. May see those 8-inch totals inch up as we go forward. Ann Arbor, one of the spots already reporting some light snow. Current temperatures are in the mid-teens, and those wind chills are in single digits. And coming up, guys, we're going to talk about the cold because it gets deeper even after the snow leaves. And there's a second system on the heels of this one that we've got to discuss for Thursday and Friday in a few minutes.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, Ben, thank you. And with this winter storm looming, people here in southeast Michigan have been spending the day preparing.
If you're with us earlier at 5, you saw that road crews have already been working to clear today's snow, and local road commissions say they are ready for a much bigger job ahead. As Priya Mann shows us, there's been a lot of stocking up and gassing up by everyday folks who've been through this before.
With so many of us working from home, smaller snowplow companies haven't been as busy plowing smaller lots and sidewalks, and these owners have a special term for what Metro Detroit's getting this week.
I love it. We call this white gold.
It's been a 1-2 punch for smaller snowplow companies. First the pandemic, followed by a mild winter.
You have to remember everything all over again. You have to remember the spots, but you know, this is what we do. We love it.
On Monday, Marcus Carr was busier than he's been all season.
Oh, it's been crazy. I've been out here since like 7 because that's all we can do now is pretty much open lanes, put salt down. I have more crews coming out about midnight. That's when we're really going to be able to start working.
Stonewall crews weren't the only ones out and about, but these folks were far less enthused.
I think it's horrible because I'm a nurse, I'm a frontline worker, so I'm getting it from both ends.
It limits my mobility. I don't like it.
I got a little something to keep me going.
Metro Detroiters were stocking up their pantries, preparing for the blanket of heavy snow expected this week.
Oh, that's why I came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to go out and do some shopping now.
I got some groceries. I'll take them home. If I get snowed in, that'll be a good thing.
Snow days used to be a reprieve from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Now it's yet another reason we're cooped up inside.
And then all I have to do is light the fireplace and, you know, pop some popcorn or...
You know, that woman, Sherry, was my favorite. There was nothing you could say to dim her positivity. Of course, I'm now standing out here as those light flurries have started. This is going to continue overnight. So, Devin, Kim, I'm going to take the lead from Sherry, and just remember that this kind of looks pretty when you're inside looking out at it. Reporting live tonight, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
If you don't have to go anywhere, it works out a lot better, that's for sure. All right, Priya. With the snow expected to fall through the night, we would invite you to wake up with Local 4 News today. Brandon, Paul, and Kim will all be working to bring you the latest on the forecast and the commute, traffic, and weather coming on the 4s starting at 4:30 a.m. All right, let's move now to the coronavirus, as vaccine appointments are being impacted now in Metro Detroit.
We start with the latest numbers, though. Michigan reports 1,265 new cases and 8 more deaths over the past 2 days. Beaumont Hospital is canceling more than 1,800 second dose appointments because it didn't get as many doses as expected. It's working to reschedule the appointments for next week. The city of Detroit is canceling more than 3,000 vaccine appointments for tomorrow because of the incoming snow. Those appointments are rescheduled for Saturday.
The continued closure of the U.S.-Canada border during the pandemic has been a horrible ordeal for a lot of families who haven't been able to see loved ones in person. For one local woman, it's a different type of frustration as her car remains stuck on the Canadian side. Kim Richardson took an international trip just before the pandemic hit last March. She flew out of Toronto to save some money and parked her car in a lot near the airport. Well, nearly a year later, she still doesn't have her vehicle back. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester joins now to explain how this all happened. This is really unusual, to say the least, Hank.
Devin, we've covered so many stories within the last year. We've been working to help people on all different fronts. I'll tell you what, this one really took me by surprise. I haven't heard anything like this before, and as you will see, this woman from Metro Detroit is obviously very frustrated. It seemed like a great idea at the time. Fly out of Toronto, save money going overseas. However, what happened next stunned everyone and left Kim Richardson stranded.
While we were gone, the pandemic hit full force, and Canada wound up shutting its borders. And it was logistically, it was a nightmare trying to get home, period.
When Kim and her wife left in early March, they parked in a lot just off airport property in Toronto. While they were overseas, the pandemic forced the U.S.-Canadian border to shut down. Kim was rerouted on her return to Detroit Metro. Her car has been trapped near Toronto since then.
So I emailed probably 3 or 4 times, trying to get a hold of someone. I left multiple messages, and finally, I got a hold of someone last month.
The owner of the lot wants roughly $3,000 for parking fees, even though Kim had no way of getting her car. The police won't assist, and the embassy has been very slow to respond.
I feel like, basically they're extorting money, and well, it's $3,000, $2,800, and it's going up by the day.
Kim is now looking to her insurance company to assist in any way, and we're working to get assistance across the border to try to resolve this situation once and for all. And things now are even more complicated. A new development is that lot has officially closed up for good, which has made the situation even more difficult. We are now working with officials across the border near Toronto, near the airport, to try to resolve this situation once and for all. It's going to take a while, but the work is being done right now. We will keep you posted. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
So unusual, and yet you can see how it all happened and came together. All right, Hank, it's really...
Well, a person of interest is now in custody after a man is found dead outside a Bell Tire location in Troy. The victim is a 38-year-old Flint man who was stabbed once in the chest. Police say an employee found the man's body this morning at the store on Rochester Road near Long Lake. Officers found a knife in the parking lot. It's not clear how long the man's body was there, but police did say he was partially covered by overnight snow.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi calling for an independent commission to examine the January attack on the Capitol. A commission would be similar to the one that investigated the 9/11 attacks. In a letter to Democratic colleagues, Pelosi says the House will also put forth funding to boost security at the Capitol. Bipartisan support appears to be growing for an independent commission in the aftermath of former President Trump's second impeachment trial. That type of commission would probably, though, require legislation to create.
Washington, D.C. has been under even heavier guard than normal since the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, and part of the extra security has been National Guard troops from Michigan. Well, now more than a month since the incident, it seems their stay in D.C. could be extended. Grant Herms is live with the latest, and Grant, not everyone agrees with keeping them there.
No, not necessarily. Michigan sent about 1,000 Guard members to guard D.C. after the insurrection over that inauguration period. And we're learning today that they could be there for a much longer period of time past their end date of mid-March. And some members of Michigan's delegation in Congress are asking why. New reporting out this week saying National Guard troops could stay in D.C. at least through the fall of 2021. Michigan Congresswoman Lisa McClain talking on Fox News Monday morning, saying she hasn't been given a reason why.
That's the biggest issue, is just tell me why. I feel like there's a boogeyman under my bed. So at the end of the day, is just explain to us why we have the National Guard troops.
Last month, McClain, who sits on the Armed Services Committee and also voted to object to several states' election results, sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi asking for an immediate intelligence briefing. So far, McClain says there hasn't been one. And she isn't alone. Several other members of Michigan's delegation saying they also have not been told about any specific threats, only the initial need for increased security for the beginning months of the Biden presidency in the wake of the January 6th attack. So far, the Department of Defense estimates the total cost for the 26,000 Guard members deployed is nearly $500 million. The state National Guard did not provide a cost estimate for the nearly 1,000 troops from Michigan. McClain Monday accusing Speaker Pelosi of playing politics with Michigan's National Guard.
It sure does seem like it's a lot of symbolism over substance, doesn't it? You know, the Washington, D.C. is an absolute ghost town. I feel completely safe.
And we also reached out to Governor Whitmer's office today. Governor Whitmer is the one who signed off on the deployment of those Michigan Guard members. Now, this Wednesday, there is a national security meeting to talk about possibly extending that deployment, so we hope to get some of those answers a little later this week. Back to you.
Okay, great, thanks.
Well, could this be the turning point, finally, for Paul Whelan? What's happening between the U.S. and Russia that could bring home the local man who was convicted of spying and sentenced to 16 years behind bars?
And here's Jamie.
It's been a crazy year for the Michigan women's soccer team, but they're trying to embrace it.
We're big into the word pivot just because so many uncontrollables have happened to us.
They haven't played a game in more than a year. How they're dealing with that and how they're preparing for the season. Next on Local 4.
Okay, Jamie. And we are under a severe weather alert as a big snow system arrives in southeast Michigan. Some schools are already closed for tomorrow, and some cities have declared snow emergencies. We've got that information posted on our website at clickondetroit.com. Ben's updated forecast is just a few minutes away.